Hey guys, this is Brendon from Tap Rack Bang. Today we're going to talk about off-body carry. So let's start. There are specific situations where off-body carry is good to go, right? But let's name the negatives of it first, okay? So for 90% of your day, I believe, or at least us in the TRB team believe, that off-body carry is not a good option. Reason being is, one, more than likely you can carry on body, right? That's the fact right there. And then two, off-body carry is a viable solution for concealed carry, but it's one of the unsafe way to conceal carry because it's like having, most bad guys are going to be robbing you of your bags and wallets and whatnot, and you're putting your gun in the bag that they're trying to take.
Now shut up and give me the bag before I shoot you in the mouth.
Right? It's the same thing as if when people put their loaded gun into some kind of magnet inside the car, so when they get carjacked, now they have to leave the gun, in the car. Or, it's not like you could tell the bad guy, hey, let me get my gun first.
Get out the car! Please don't kill me!
So there's the negative part of it, right? Now the positive part of it is that it's extremely comfortable, right? I don't care how good your holsters are. There's no other way more comfortable than off-body carry. And the reason for that is because, one, it's like wearing a bag. Two, nothing is being pinched between your pants and your skin and your body. So it is extremely comfortable. Two, you can carry a larger size firearm, right? On top of that, you can carry a lot of the stuff, right? You can carry medical, you can carry tourniquets and more extra mags, right? I don't know how much extra mags you carry. And then third, off-body carry, if you require more mobility within your body, right? Whether you're working out at the gym, you're going on hike, or going on a run. If you require more mobility in your body, then obviously off-body carry would be your way to go. And obviously, if you think I'm wrong, please definitely comment in there a better way for you that you have concealed carry while going on a run or a marathon or at the gym or whatnot. So, I mean, hey man, I've even seen waterproof bags for concealed carrying while you're going on a swim. So there's that too. So let's talk about the bags that are common in the team, right? There are definitely other bags out there that exist, but the two that we see a lot in the team are, one, the Victos Upscale 2, right? USCCA definitely pushes these bags real well. It's on their website. Victos has been pushing these bags as well, and we see a lot of civilians and people using these bags. And then you got the Eberlestock Bando XL. This is actually the XL version, which surprised me. This is also a common thing right here. The way they're worn are two different ways, right? And we'll get into that in a moment. Now, so let's talk about the two bags that we have up here, right? So there's two ways that we carry. We have these fanny pack style backpacks right here. The way it's obviously worn, I don't know if it's gonna fit me because Royce obviously has a smaller waist than me. And it fits, there we go. All right, so you got one that's usually around here in your stomach area, right? I don't know if I'm comfortable with this snugness, but the way you would be drawing from here is you got tabs right here that you can draw. We'll talk about the draw later. So there's this one. The other way you can carry as well, right, is that you can carry in this sling bag type deal, right, where you can go crossbody and put it in the back right here. So you'll be carrying it right here in the bag. You can go sideways, right? I've definitely been comfortable just going like this, right, most of the time. I'm still uncomfortable with the bag in my back, right? But it's definitely good this way, or I mean, whatever, if you want to carry it this way, right? So if you're a dad, you're probably familiar with the feeling of how to carry these two things. So like I said, there's definitely multiple ways that you can carry off body, but these are the two ways that we found to be more successful, which is the fanny pack style, or if not, you got crossbody, which is this guy right here. The reason that they're either fanny pack style, right, or if not crossbody, because they are specifically designed for concealed carry, and this is efficient for your draw. So if they're in the front right here, the draw can be coming up from here, right, if you're doing this way. And see this pull tab right here, right? If you're from the corner, you can pull it, put it in front of you, open the bag and draw your firearm. These features may not be specifically for CCW bags only, but they are definitely present on these two CCW bags because they offer you a good way for you to draw. All right, now, why these two bags specifically, mind you? One, because they don't look like you just fell off a Tactical Shops magazine, right? It's black. It's actually unassuming. If you really want to, you can cut up the Eberlestock, right? But I mean, to be honest, I don't think most people know what Everlystock is. And just because you also have this bag does not mean you're concealed carrying, right? Victos, extremely unassuming. Even with this big backpack, right? It doesn't look like those quote unquote tactical hydration packs, right? They look like what dads would carry or moms would carry. Or if not, just dudes out on a run, right? When they have something. It doesn't scream gun. There is a weird thing in the back of this though, which they have Molly back here. But it's up against your body, one. Two, it can't be seen from when you're just wearing it, okay? So they're extremely unassuming. I am gonna say though, Victos does have different colors for this. There's definitely multicam black if you wanna look more tactical, but that's kind of defeating the purpose of what a CCW backpack is. All right, so let's see how I set up my Victos backpack, okay? So first thing is you got the main compartment, right? So you got your firearm in there, you guys can see. Okay, so I got a full-size gun with an acro on this one. So you got your Springfield Prodigy, right, with an X300 turbo, an acro, unloaded, right? We'll talk about how that's mounted in there and how that's securely mounted in there as well, because just having a gun in a holster in there loose is not a good thing. Moreover, also having a gun loaded in there with no holster, shoved in the bag, also not a good thing. Okay, so we'll discuss that in a moment. Let me just take this out. Talk about that, what that is later on. Next, we got the secondary compartment, right, which is up here. Now, there's a couple of things that I carry with this one. Number one, tourniquet, right? Two, I got my forward observation / Farrer Concepts medical kit, right? This is actually their North American rescue kit that they have right here, but this is usually the refill that they give out. But with the refill though, it has pretty much everything that I need. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 of the important things that you need. It even has a decompression needle, but if you don't know how to use that, don't use it, okay? And then two, you got your mod light right here. I typically carry this in my pocket, right? But it's definitely something that could be in there as well. Or guess what? Extra mod light, right? Because you're rolling that deep. Extra magazine could be in your pocket, also could be in here. And then you got your multi-tool, right? Just in case your Juggernaut Tactical California compliant gun gets stuck and you can't clear a malfunction, therefore you need one of these. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously there's a sunglass case right here in the top right that somehow Royce puts rounds in here. Fun story, you don't go through airports with rounds in your backpacks, right? And you wonder why. There's random rounds in here. Yeah, we'll talk about airport etiquette in a moment. But so yeah, so that's how we set up this Victos bag. Pretty much have everything that you need, right? You got your, like I said, trauma kit. It has your chest seal, NPA, needle decompression, rolled gauze, elastic bandage wrap, combat gauze, and then you got your little combat casualty card. You got your magazine. You could probably fit 2 magazines in there, to be honest with you. A Leatherman, extra mod light because you're rolling that deep. You got your gun, full-size gun, right? With your X300 and your acro, which is arguably a bigger light and a bigger optic. And then we'll talk about this later on. And then obviously you got your cat tourniquet. All right, so we're gonna demo how I draw this. I found out today that Royce has a different way of drawing this, some other people in the team as well. But the way I draw it, right, is typically this is sitting either in the back right here or in the corner. This has a pull tab right here. So when I see a threat or perceive a threat, like I said, this is not good for speed draw. I'm gonna say that right now. Your situated awareness has to even be better, right? You can see stuff from further away. But if you are in the fast, right, so you come up here, grab this one. I usually grab this pull tab, open this up this way. From here, I can go ahead, grab the pistol, right, draw it, and then shoot. Like I prefaced earlier, just having the gun floating around here is dangerous, right? I get it, 1911s have safeties on them, but that safety could be bumped off, right? And you could accidentally discharge the gun. If you have a gun that doesn't have a mechanical safety, like a Glock or a P320, right, or some P320s, you just shove it in here, one in a chamber. That's a bad thing too, okay? So most people would put a holster in here. The problem with just having a holster though is the inability for you to have a good consistent draw because there's nothing holding the holster around the insides of that main compartment. But for us, what I have in here, right, on my Prodigy is I have my regular appendix carrier, which is a 10-core holster, but it's on top of a Tracer Tactical appendix rig. And we're gonna take it out so you can see what that is. So inside the main compartment, there is Velcro, okay? So typically what people would do is they would get a dedicated holster for that gun, for that bag. So what they would do, they would get a holster, put Velcro on each side of the holster, put it in the bag, and that would be okay. Problem is, one, you gotta buy 2 holsters now, right? One for your on body and one for your off body, because when you're using this, and obviously it just starts stacking up in terms of the cost. So what we have here is the Tracer Tactical appendix rig. So what this is, right, is I have my appendix carry holster right here, right? So I think we could just take this off. Let me see if I can do it, right? So you got your appendix carry holster right here. Put that back in the bag, right? And then you got your Tracer Tactical kit this way, okay? So it has like a little loop right here that's acting as that belt for your clips to go into, and it has Velcro backing in the back to stick towards the back of that bag. So I took out my Tracer Tactical appendix carry rig, right? And then I just have the gun, obviously, with the holster in there. It's unloaded, so we'll clear that out right now. But, so you're going about your day, the gun comes up this way. So no matter how good you position that gun in there with the holster, because there's a lot of space, you know, and you're going about your day, whatnot, and take a look at what happens to that gun, right? One, it's nowhere near where you're supposed to be drawing, right? And two, it's not dug deep in there, okay? So the gun is somewhere in there. So if I were to draw, right, so the gun is that way. It's moving around all over the place in there. So if I were to draw this, it would be a 2-hand operation, because one, support hand has to grab the holster, because if you just grab the gun, you come out with the holster, right? So you gotta grab the gun with the holster, and then you gotta go ahead and draw your firearm, right? So that is an issue that we see a lot with people, because they would have a holster flopping all over the place. And so if they're in a rush to draw, like for example, come up this way, draw, and then if I have to dig in the bag, draw this gun before I can shoot, right? Which is extremely bad. This bag does come with a nylon, quote unquote, holster, right? One, it doesn't fit guns with weapon lights. Put that out there too. Second, unless your gun has a manual safety on it, you're risking a lot by putting a gun that's striker-fired with no manual safety, just a trigger safety, into a nylon holster inside a bag that, you know, jostles around a lot. It could lead to accidental discharges, which, I mean, if we're going to argue about this, I think is negligence, because you're not using a proper equipment. The one con that we see in this bag, right, it is big, but one thing it doesn't have is security in terms of its secureness around your body, right? It's designed that way, but the problem is that every time I have to draw this gun, it has to be a 2-handed operation, right? So if I, for some example, my wife is holding my hand in my back, you know, she's scared or whatnot, or I'm carrying a kid, then, you know, I can't draw this. I've come up this way, and as I try to do this, the bag is constantly moving back towards the opposite side, right? And if I were to do it from the other side too, right, there's a lot of movement, right? I guess you could go into pinch the bag here and whatnot, but what I'm saying is that drawing from this bag is a 2-handed operation, which is the one con that it has. But for some of you with kids and wives and whatnot, that could be a big con. Now, the pros for this bag is that, one, it has a big compartment. We can carry a lot of stuff here. As we demoed earlier, you got your X300 Prodigy Acro in there with a Tracer Tactical kit, the 10-core holster, right? You got an extra mag, probably 2 extra mags. You got your medical kit, right? Complete with all the accoutrements that most typical IFAKs do. And then you also got your TQ in there, in here. On top of that, you got your, for Royce, you got your extra rounds located up on the top right here that you can go through airport security with. And then for the most part, you have a lot of stuff, right? You got your main compartment, you got your secondary compartment in here, and then you got your third compartment for sunglasses and whatnot. So there is a lot of stuff here. And the biggest pro is that this does not look like a gun bag.
Something inconspicuous!
So now we're talking about the Eberlestock, right? How I set this up. So with this one, you can't fit the full-size Prodigy. Specifically though, if you have a Prodigy or you have a full-size gun with no red dot, then that's good to go. Unfortunately, this gun does not fit in there, but it does fit full-size gun. So let's open it up, okay? I do have a Glock 17 here. It doesn't have a red dot on it because the Eberlestock doesn't have enough vertical clearance, right? So if you have a full-size gun, you won't be able to fit a red dot or an optic, but you can have your full-size light, so that's not a problem. If you do want to attach an optic on a Gundo and put it in here, you might be relegated to smaller guns in terms of their grip. So Glock 19 maybe, a 26 or subcompact guns would be good to go for you. But there's that. And then obviously we have our Tracer Tactical Appendix Carry rig, right? The only thing that's done on here though is the Eberlestock doesn't have a lot of vertical clearance, so you have to fold the Tigris slightly so that it fits. So, but it still works great, so that's good. Tentacle holster. Now it has 3 compartments, right? So you got your main compartment where you would be putting your gun. The second compartment I have right here, I got my tourniquet, and then I got my mod light flashlight, right? And then I got a knife in there as well. That doesn't fit a lot of stuff in there, but there's definitely places and a lot of knickknacks you can put. But with that in mind though, you cannot put this full-size medical kit in there, right? There's not enough space. And then I got one more area right here where I go ahead and put my magazines, right? So you got your extra magazine. It's better here, separated. If I have to reload, be able to grab it there. But these are the 3 compartments that this Everlystock Bando XL has room for. So now we have the Everlystock Bando XL bag, right? So it's more secure, okay? I am gonna say that I can definitely access this with one hand right here and be able to draw my gun, which is a good thing, right? But let's talk about how you draw this gun, okay? For me, I obviously support hand still right here, right? You can usually access this gun with one hand, right? Actually, it would be better if you would go like this, right? Hands in your chest right here. You got your tab. You can open it because the Everlystock opens all the way down, and all of a sudden, now you have access to your gun right here. So if I were to draw that way, come up, and then present. And that's how we draw with this bag, okay? Reholster is a 2-hand operation because it's definitely not safe. If you try to put it in, make sure everything's clear, put it in there. This is a smaller bag, right? It barely fits the gun in here, and there are a little space for you to add more stuff in there. We were not on the tabletop. We were not able to put the full medical kit, so I only have a TQ, a knife, a backup mag, and also a flashlight inside this guy right here, which is still a lot when you think about it, right? Compared to most people carrying on body, but it is smaller than what the Victos bag is. So the pro though is the stability, right? If you notice, I was able to draw with one hand. I can manipulate this whole bag setup, right? I can clear it. Some people like to reholster all the way down, right? Come up this way, reholster that way, whatnot. There is definitely a lot of stability with this setup. It's also compact, right? More compact than the other one. Some people prefer the fanny pack type backpacks, right? For their CCW off body, which is good. And then lastly, this is probably the last thing people expect to have a gun in it.
Something inconspicuous!
If you're going to use a CCW bag, ensure that you're investing in the proper equipment for you to draw from that bag. Like I said, Tracer Tactical Appendix Carry Rig, great way for you to secure the holster and for you to have a good consistent draw.
If you think all gun laws are an infringement and you live behind the enemy lines in the People's Republic of California, then check out our Unconvicted Felons t-shirt. We came out with this t-shirt design for you where most of us are fed up with the situation here in California. So check it out. Check out our website. Awesome t-shirt coming at you. And our new line of 2 arms where it stands for 2A Rights Matter. So check out our new t-shirt and help us feed our dog.